What's up, Rockstars? Today's a fun news video for you guys. I got some brand new stuff to show you, some stuff that just launched that I've been covering for a while that's finally here. Reminds me of a game I played when I was a little kid. I'm super excited for it. Let's get to it. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. If you appreciate videos I make every single week for you guys, and you can give even $1 a month, there's a link in the description below. Thank you so very much. By the way, let's just go in and dive right in. So, starting things out, Nanolith Cyberpunk RPG board game. It says it wears its inspiration on its sleeve. This feels like a Final Fantasy board game. They even advertise on Facebook. I've seen their sponsored posts here. Inspired by Final Fantasy. This is an epic story told through like comic book style, but it's all cyberpunk in the world, and you're like fighting all these different robots and mutants and stuff like that. Very much what looks to be the cyberpunk game I've been looking for when it comes to like a dungeon crawl sort of experience where I can like really feel like I live in this world. I'm super excited for that. I do have an unboxing. I'll link to that down below as well, and I'll have a review for you guys out as soon as I get some time with it. So I'm reading through the rulebook now. I'll get to my table. I'll let you guys know what I think. So super excited for this. It is a legacy campaign. Currently, it's a destructive legacy campaign. You have stickers you're putting on things as you uncover the map and stuff like that. The map is kind of the hard part. You can get on cards and put sleeves or something like that, but the map is kind of the map. So, but they are looking into maybe potential changes that they can do around that. So if you have any feedback for them around that, feel free to back and then let them know. Like, feel free to, they're all open for that kind of stuff. And I think it looks super cool. So they are very much well funded. They're well past their funding goal, and they are busy doing stretch goals and all that other kind of stuff. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. I couldn't even possibly get into all of it, at least not anytime soon, but they've been just unlocking more and more and more stuff, which is great to see. It's really nice to see that. And look at that, sleeves for all cards. You get the game sleeved with it. Guys, you don't have to buy sleeves. Come on now. Like, seriously, I think more games should do something like this. Like, just offer the sleeves as a stretch goal. That's huge. That means the storage will accommodate it. That means everybody gets sleeved cards. That's awesome. That's fantastic. So, super looking forward to something like that. I think that's great. So, yeah, they're definitely working on that, and excited to see where it leads. Next up, just launched RoboMon, the tabletop adventure. This is essentially Pokemon, but without the infringement. Right now, they're only promising like evolutions and stuff like that. We haven't quite gotten there yet. This reminds me of a Game Boy game I used to play called RoboMon, which was essentially a robot version of Pokemon, actually from Japan. And I used to love that game. I had a Prima guide. Do you remember those little things? And I actually wrote notes in it because I found stuff the Prima guide didn't even tell you. Like, oh, there's a secret chest behind this house and stuff like that. But it again, very much heart or inspiration on its sleeves. Speaking of which, I got the Celestial shirt. Oh yeah. Super excited about that. Okay, so anyway, I mean, you can kind of see the game kind of pixel art almost kind of stuff right here as you go around and explore, and then you get your little RoboMon cards. So it's a card game that you're playing, again, like Pokemon. But one of the cool things it has is you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it here, but you'll notice in some of this stuff that it has these QR codes all over, right? So they actually, each area you're in, you can scan QR code and it starts playing the music of that area like you were in a video game. I think that's great. And I think more games should have their theme music printed in like this, where it's just a QR code you can scan real quick, and wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, you can scan that. It starts playing the music appropriate to that. Bam, you get into a boss battle, scan the QR code, boom, boss battle music. Let's go. Let's fight, right? I think that's awesome. And I would love to see more of that done. I think that's super duper cool. I really do. So anyway, I mean, as you can see, if you grew up with Pokemon, or if you like the IP, or even RoboMon, if you know what I'm talking about, you know, this is definitely something to kind of look at. So I think it's super cool looking. I have to look more into the campaign itself because, again, this just launched. So I need to look into price and all that kind of stuff. Let you guys know what I decide on it. But definitely interested for sure. And I think my kids will love it. Next up, this is something for you guys. Kingdom Death Monster Organizer. This is season 2 of it. So it's kind of iterative and it's been made better. It looks great, actually. I think it does. They really thought of a lot of stuff here. It looks very nice when it comes to dealing with the cards and where to put them. It's like multi-use. You can kind of see it here. You can put cards either this way or you can put cards this way, and like, so you can take a stack here, put it there, stick a tap there, put it there. So you're not just like poking around for where everything goes. It tends to fit pretty good by the looks of it. So it looks very, very nice. They have the little holes to get that last card out because, you know, God forbid that's easy to do. So yeah, it looks really nice. Definitely something I think I would recommend for a game like Monster Hunter. It certainly needs something like that, and I think he's doing a great job with it. There was mention of, oh, will Poots take it down or something like that? I don't know. I think he's dumb if he does. Let the community support community projects. I don't see, this is not taking a sale away from Kingdom Death Monster. If they don't like people buying this, they should make a better organizer. Okay, Nexus Arena Combat System. Been showing this off. Finally hit 50,000. Squeaky chair, apologize for that, but $50,000 finally, and it's just going to keep going. It has 24 days to go. They were at Gen Con constantly putting on games sessions. Every time I walked by, they were busy doing a game session, which I think is great. I let the people do it. I would have sat down if there was time, but I didn't want to take it away from other people because those are his customers, right? And it's really cool to see this. If you haven't seen my previous coverage of it, this is already made. It's going to be shipped to you very, very quickly. This is pretty much a done deal. It's a guaranteed shot at it. It's put a lot of thought into it, a lot of iterations into it. This is, I think, the 3rd campaign for it, but it's actually doing well. So that's awesome. It's very much an 80's slugfest with violent gore and arena and, you know, blood and guts and stuff like that. If you're into that, you're gonna love this skirmish game. That's for sure. Next up, Ivion Season 2. I covered this last time. They're at 52,000 and still going up, and I think that's awesome. I'm glad to see them continue to succeed with this. Anytime I see something like a Season 2 or something like that, and it does well, I'm really happy just because it just means that they're not just doing a one and done thing. They're invested in this, and I appreciate that. There was one thing I wanted to clarify. Somebody mentioned this is not a booster pack, that there are no booster packs. And I didn't think so, but I wasn't quite sure, but that's confirmed. There are no, like, you know, it's not a collectible card game, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's great to hear. So anyway, yeah, this is available as well. It's a very tactical skirmish card game where you kind of have the deck of cards is kind of the main game there. Tom Vassell loved this game, so I think that's awesome. Next up, we have the Ancestors. This is kind of a last call for this. 64 hours to go at the time of recording. You can do some math to probably figure out kind of where I filmed this. Not too late for me anyway. Again, nobody outdoes Black Forge Games when it comes to texture on their minis and just the overall design towards making it look impressive and having it fun to paint. Black Forge Games is the market leader there as far as I'm concerned. This is incredible stuff. They do amazing stuff. I'm blown away by it. I mean, they are proud and they know exactly how good they are at this. I mean, look at the skin there. Show me another mini that looks this great. When it comes to like textures and variety and stuff like that, they're very good when it comes to, you know, not making everything just one thing and you know, like most people would make his skin all one thing, but instead they actually kind of change it on the knees. You can see that it looks good. It looks great. I love their stuff. You can get this 3D printed or like an STL for you, or you can get the actual physical thing, in which case it comes from big to huge. Is kind of, I think, your options there. So yeah, super cool to see that. Next up, I didn't show this before, so I'm showing this now. This is Idols of Torment. This is kind of their preview. Again, I wish it was more than just their email. Wish there was another way to see this. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit on this. Again, I do apologize. You are kind of stuck in my email thing here, but this is how they decided to display it. So one of the things I thought was cool about here is it looks to me almost like a city, like an upside down city, you know, like the layered city, kind of like a shield. Kind of reminds me of that. But you can kind of see
This is, I think, what they show on the Kickstarter. So let's take a look at some of the new stuff. So first of all, here's a sprue of some of the like little people there. It is made in Poland. I don't know. It says Black Magic crafted the copyright. I don't know who's actually manufacturing this. If it's Poland and it's Hips, I would guess it's actually Archon. If it is, I think that's awesome. They do great stuff. If not, that's fine too. I don't know. I don't know. I would love to find out though. If you guys know, let me know. Comment down below. I would love to hear from you. So you can kind of see some of the different factions and some of the map, but they're going to dive into the individual, the art in this game, by the way, guys. So we have the Strife, we have the Scorn, and you can kind of see the minis here. Not the best sight of the minis. So the Pain, the Insatiate, the Vile, the Wasting, the Hollow. And again, these minis, you can kind of tell are very, varied, which is kind of a terrible sentence, but that fits me, I guess. The variety is really, really large between them, I feel, which is nice to see. Like this tends to have ghost stuff, so that fits, right? This tends to have people on these like stilts and stuff, so that fits. So you can kind of see the sense of each one just by looking at them by the looks of it. So that's super cool to see. All right, next up, Vanquishers, the trading card game. I don't know much about this. I saw an ad for it, thought it looked pretty neat. I liked the idea, select a hero, equip weapons and armor, and vanquish your enemy. The equipping part is what I was drawn to here, more than the theme or anything like that. Though I don't have a sci-fi trading card game, you know, where we're like, you know, skirmishing and stuff like that. So that might get me a little bit interested. I know Magic the Gathering gets kind of sci-fi a few times, but I actually don't like Magic the Gathering sci-fi. Mirrodin excluded. So excluded from that rule. I do like Mirrodin. It's where I start. Anyway, so I'm kind of interested in that, but also one of my favorite things about skirmish games is building up armies, right? And it kind of reminds me of Limbo here, where you like pick your equipment and your buffs and stuff like that. I really like that about Limbo. So if this could give me a similar feel, I might actually be kind of interested. Next up, I've shown this before. This was my pick of the like entire episode last time. It's still really out there. Stworze Rebirth. I've heard the game's kind of but I've also heard it's actually pretty good. So it kind of depends on who you ask, of course. But the art, guys, is just amazing. It's all Slavic stuff. I've shown this off before in a previous video. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, you haven't seen that video, you should subscribe so you can see videos just like this. I do these all the time to show off some of the cool stuff I'm looking at. I don't show everything, just what kind of catches my eye, something I have a comment on, so that it's not just me shoving stuff in your face saying buy this, but instead it's my honest kind of take on things. So it's a little limited to me, but I mean, just the wooden tokens and the art and it just looks great. You actually play as one of the Slavic monsters, which is kind of cool. It's a very neat twist there too. That's not very common. Next up, Kingdom Come Deliverance, the board game, September 12th. I don't think I mentioned this in the unboxing. Speaking of which, I just did an unboxing of that. Link down in the description below to that as well, of course. And of course, a review to follow up. It is app driven, which really just means I will be able to get to the review even sooner because the app will help me along. Super helpful to have that, actually. I'll take all the help I can get at this point. But I mean, you can kind of see giant minis, by the way. I mean, the minis are like that. I mean, they're big. I don't know if they're 54 millimeters, probably somewhere around there. They might not. I mean, I don't know, they almost seemed like 75 millimeters. They were big. Next up, Tainted, Grail, Kings of Ruin. This is, again, still coming up. They're still taking, you know, feedback and showing off things here. I showed off the latest update, so there's nothing I think really new here. A lot of you guys said this is very much like some bosses you might be familiar with, maybe from a certain video game series. So I'll just leave it at that. I still think it looks a little silly, but this art is still bomb, in my opinion. Like it's great. Let's see who won. Definitely number 2 won. So who's number 2? Who's number 2? This one is number 2. I think I liked this one, but I'm also partial to red, as you know. So this one's cool with the 2 people, though. I do dig the people. So that one's cool too. Okay, and then we have KeyForge. I mentioned this before. This is coming out here also as well soon. A lot of people are super excited about that. You can click this follow button again, link to all these down in the description below to get a free deck, not just a pack, but a whole deck. So that's kind of cool. And finally, Cities Untold by Dwarven Forge. This is coming out in the fall. I'm assuming in November, though it might be October. I don't know. We'll see. This was at Gen Con. I actually showed this off in one of my videos. I'll link down to that in the description below as well. It looks magnificent. The one thing I do need to warn you about is Dwarven Forge realizes how nice it is, how premium it is, and they priced it accordingly. That's because everything's actually hand painted and, you know, just have working lights and, you know, it's detailed. Like they don't use the 3D like a program on the computer. They actually craft the detail out of like model it and stuff like that, which is awesome. It looks incredible. It's great stuff, very high quality, pricey. You could spend thousands of dollars on a table, so just keep that in mind as well. All right, guys, that is it. That's all I have. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If I missed anything, let us know in the comments below. If it's worth it, I'll even add it in the description for you guys. Thank you so very much. I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.